Hello guys, Jerry speaking. Well, LJPCBM episode number 584. Today back to Good Mythical Morning, episode 4, Chinese horse for breakfast. Wow, disgusting, I know. But yeah, let's begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I'll never look at a hornet's nest the same way again.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Karis. And we're from Warsaw, Indiana. Now let's talk about that.
Wow.
Good mythical morning.
This episode is brought to you by the Mythical Shoe. This is our shoe, your shoe, the shoe that you design. You can pick it up at redlink.com/store, along with lots of other things.
Yeah, it comes in black, blue, and this is green color.
Wow.
And they leap out of your hand.
It's magical.
Wow.
Are you happy to be here this morning, Rat?
Yes and no.
Wait, don't be ambivalent about it.
I'm happy to be here, but the thing that I would like us to talk about makes me feel with a little bit of frustration, a little angst.
I could tell, even when you walked in the door this morning, I sensed two things. One was frustration, and now I know the second one. It's angst.
Wow.
Sometimes confused for one another.
Can't really say what angst is,
Teenagers have it.
but teenagers have it.
Teenagers are just full of it. Angst, I'm talking about.
Wow.
I was doing what I do a lot of times on the weekend, and that's watching television recently.
Wow.
And I was watching...
Is this a hobby for Rhett? I have no idea.
I've got the Netflix, hooked up to my TV. It's very futuristic, because that's the way I do things.
You just sounded like a 75-year-old. You added a V in front of something that didn't need one.
Well, I kind of did it for effect, because I'm so filled with angst right now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Like old people are, and teenagers. But I watch anything on there, and I love these documentaries.
You just devour everything that comes up.
If you're talking documentaries, check out Robert McNeil and Jim Lehre's documentaries on Story of English and My Heart, Your Heart. Continue on.
I love documentaries.
Like a plant devouring a dog.
I got to admit that I like to devour documentaries. And there's this one on there, you may have seen it, Wild China.
I have not seen it.
Wild
I've not
China.
seen either.
Too scary for me. If it says wild in the title, I'm clicking on the next one.
Okay.
I cannot add something into my queue that sounds so dangerous.
It's your prerogative. I highly recommend this series. I think it's like 6 episodes. I've gone through 2.
Okay.
I just got to tell you something that happened in this thing. Okay, this one episode focuses on this really poor remote region of South China, where everybody's kind of still just doing stuff with their hands, just getting stuff done.
Okay, doing stuff with it. Should you be saying, like, spoiler alert?
No. It's to be awesome to watch, because I won't tell it nearly as well as they tell it on the actual thing.
Okay.
Let me see if Wild China's about. Let me see. I wonder if it's on streaming right now. Oh, it's on BBC 2. Came out in 2008. Okay, so no, it wasn't on streaming. So it's a 6-part nature documentary series. So what happened to that? Well, I wasn't prepared for it. So, well, who uploaded this on? It was a Blu-ray, DVD, disc, book, and. Oh, I see. Okay, let's continue on.
There's this place in South China where there's this river, this roaring river that will kill anybody that gets into it.
The Yangtze.
No, it's different. And it's just this roaring river full of rapids, and there's no bridge, and so they have constructed 30 rope, like zip lines across this thing for the people to get across the river.
You're talking about, like...
Zip line, Like a theme park. In America, it's just like, hey, let's go party at the theme park.
No. Let's say, go to the restroom! Things like that instead. Continue on.
In China, it's like, we got to get to the market to buy a goat on the zip line. And that's exactly what happened. There's this old woman. She goes across on the zip line, like smoking a pipe. And then she goes back across with a pig.
You're like
I
holding
love pigs.
smoking a pipe going on the zip line?
Yeah, a pig. And then there's a guy with a goat.
I want that woman to be my grandma.
Well, these are not pets. I'm assuming they're gonna eat these animals.
I don't want to replace you.
Yeah. Although I'm not eating pigs, unfortunately, except for some foods related to that, because I'm a lover of pigs per se. Continue on.
My real grandma who's watching, I want to add to you another grandma, because I don't think that you would willingly go on a zip line with a pig smoking a pipe.
At least not without a helmet.
And I love you anyway. You don't have to do that, but I want to add another grandma who does do that. I have a need for that.
Well, I can hook you up.
Wow.
That will take care of my angst problem.
There's these other guys. There's these fishermen, and they are on these bamboo rafts. And they go out there. These rafts look like they're about to fall in the water, but they've got these trained pelican-like birds on each side of the raft. All the fishermen have them. And they go out there, and they start jumping on the rafts to kind of shake it up, and the birds jump into the water.
Out of the raft?
Yeah. And they go and they get a fish, and they bring it back to the guy. Now listen, the dudes, the Chinese dudes, tie a noose around the bird's neck so he can't swallow the fish. A little loose noose, like a little string. And so they're trying to swallow the thing, and then he takes the fish out of the bird's mouth, and that's how they catch fish. And then when these birds can count to 7, because when they get to 7 fish, they stop working. And they wait for him to reward them with another kind of fish, like this little catfish that he pulls out of the boat, and he gives it to him. He takes the little thing off their neck and he gives it to them.
They will not. They refuse. It's like their union. The almost a pelican jumping out of a raft union has set the stipulation at 7.
Yeah.
And the loose noose is removed.
Yeah, so these guys have trained these birds to do this. Now,
That is ingenuity.
you haven't heard anything until you've heard about the last thing, the hornet's nest. There are these two guys.
Well, okay.
They take a grasshopper, they put it on the edge of a long stick, and they hold it up, and they wait until a hornet comes and lands on the grasshopper, attempting to eat the grasshopper.
Hornets eat grasshoppers in China?
They do in China.
Man.
They bring it down, and while this thing is preoccupied, while the hornet is preoccupied with consuming the grasshopper, they tie a little string around it with a feather on it, a little white feather. What? And then the hornet flies off, and he's kind of going kind of slow because he's got this feather on him, but they can see it, and he's going a little bit slow, and they start chasing after this hornet that's flying through the air. They track the thing through the woods, like it looked like they went like a mile. It gets to its nest. And then they see the nest, and they take this long stick with like a torch with fire on the end of it, and they burn all the hornets out of the nest. And then one of the dudes shimmies up the tree, like 40 feet up the tree, goes out on the limb, grabs the nest down. They come down, they break it open, and they eat the fattened larva out of the nest because it's a delicacy.
Wow. Just wow, right?
I'm bumfuzzled and angst-ridden. I can't believe it. Really?
You may be asking why this frustrates me and why I'm full of angst.
Hold on. Give me a sec. Rat, why does this frustrate you and fill you full of angst? It fills me full of joy and amazement.
Well, at first I was filled with joy and amazement, and then it soon turned into frustration and angst.
Well, you're a glass half empty kind of guy, man.
And this is why. Because here I was, on my nice soft couch, in front of my huge TV, just sitting there laying there like half asleep, like, hornets, birds, woman going across the thing with the pipe and the pig.
Wow. Yeah.
Totally just,
wow.
Privileged, got more than I need, pig. And here are these people tying feathers to hornets.
But you're not saying that you feel sorry for these people.
No, I don't feel sorry for them. I envy them because they're doing things. They're like these dudes is ingenious. I don't do anything with my hands anymore except type and tweet and text.
I sense the irony.
And drive every once in a while. But these guys are tying feathers to hornets and then eating the larva out of the nest.
So you're saying you want to travel there and do that with them?
I just feel like we all need, in this culture, we gotta do something. We gotta build something.
No, don't bring the culture into it. This is about you.
You can do it if you want to, culture. As if the entire culture watches Mythical more.
It's such a culture-changing show here that we have.
I at least need to do like a volcanic kit or something. or like a model airplane.
Well, I have a.
You need an application.
I got a rock tumbler. You remember my rock tumbler?
Yeah.
You put the rocks in it, and it would turn, and it would make them smooth.
Yeah, but that's kind of easy.
But then I could make it into jewelry. Would that make you think more highly of me? And then you could join me? And you're saying you want to be ingenuitive. You want to
Do something with my hands, like with a wasp and a hornet. Did I say wasp? Hornets.
Wow.
Anything. I want to.
like I take my kids. I take them bike riding. I went and I've got like 8 flat tires over the past 3 weeks. I've told you about this.
Yeah.
But then in the garage, I would say, I'm not just going to buy a new tube. I'm going to patch the tube.
Right.
And so I would have to disassemble the whole bike, the braking system. And I just felt all of this satisfaction.
Yeah.
And then I'd ride the bike and it would go flat again.
But you were satisfied
Wow.
for a little bit.
For a moment. It was as if a feather was being tied to a hornet.
I just feel
Wow.
like we're on the verge of doing too much of this, too much typing, and not enough of tying up things to insects and around birds' necks and crossing rivers with large animals.
In the comments, make
culture.
a suggestion. Make a suggestion of maybe it's just a hobby that Red can take up that will improve his self-worth. Maybe you're looking at it all wrong.
Yeah, I want to get rid of my angst, people. Help me.
What about birdhouses? Maybe we could build birdhouses that look like famous architecture,
Like the White House?
like the White House. And
Washington Monument?
there's Lego sets now that are like famous architecture.
Why has it all got to be in Washington, D.C.? Who came up with that rule?
I didn't say it was. I said it was famous architecture around the globe.
Let's close this episode out
Wow.
with the Wheel of Mythicality.
So that's my idea. Birdhouse replicas of famous architecture.
Shout out to Monaco. How appropriate is it that we landed on shout out to Monaco? Because Monaco
Wow.
is the richest country in the world per capita. They have the lowest unemployment rate of 0%. And this place is
And they're all good looking.
they're all good looking. They got good food. They all live on the beach.
Well, instead of telling, let's just shout out to them. That's how we're supposed to end it, right?
Shout
Wow.
out to you, Monaco.
Hey, Monaco, thanks for watching Good Mythical Morning. We sense that you're there for us. We know that your unemployment rate is unreasonably low and that everyone who lives in your country is unreasonably good looking. Shout outs for that.
Yes.
Wow.
Let's play the national anthem of Monaco.
Oh, man. Wow. So that was Charlie's Hornets for breakfast. Episode 4 of Good Mythical Morning. I was surprised. Wow. So far this episode was a success. And I'm like, wow. That was the national anthem for us here in America. But say but anyway. Anyways, that was LJPCBM episode number 1000. 584. Hope you enjoy it. Today is gonna be LJPCBM episode number 1000, and 585, which would be about best K ever. Good Mythical Morning episode 5 to wrap up the week, first week of Good Mythical Morning. Till next time, so just by baby. Goodbye, LJPCBM. So say out. See ya.
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I failed to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening, but I try all the time. Why was I the one to see things as I do under the moonlight and the sun? Perception is the question and the giver holds the key, but the only worth I've ever found was in melody. I still try